Katie Robertson here, and we are on location in Gig Harbor, Washington, and I want to invite you all to come on in and join us for the Anchor at Home. I want to officially welcome you to our December Anchor at Home. We are so glad you're with us. If you're in a watch party with family and friends, or you're viewing on your own, we are thrilled you're tuning in with us tonight. We've got a really great evening planned, and we've been graciously invited into one of our guest speakers' homes. Her name is Sue Braaten, and she'll be sharing the anchor moment a little later on. We will look forward to hearing from her. And before we get started, I wanted to share just a few things. We are dreaming big, and we want to spread the good news of Jesus to women everywhere. And we would love your help and have you come on board. And there's a few ways you can do this. First of all, if you haven't already, we'd love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share the YouTube link with anyone, near or far, anyone in need of hearing the hope of Jesus. And we'd love for you to consider becoming a watch party host. And to find out more, you can go to our website, theanchorgathering.com, and we'd love for you to join our crew, and we'd like to connect with you soon. So with that, we are going to get started. Tonight we have a very special news report all the way from the East Coast from a dear friend of the Anchors. Her name is Paula. Some of you have met her already, and some of you are going to meet her for the first time tonight. But she's got some exciting and fun news to share, information and ideas to get ready for Christmas. So let's take it now to Paula on the East Coast.
Is my lipstick okay? Listen. Scares me every time. Okay, ladies, hello. Paula is here. Paula Fajikowski. I can't even say my last name. Ladies, oh my goodness, it is so fun to be back with you. I thought I would pop in here for a little like a Christmas special, because I love Christmas. I love the presents, you know, it's a homonym, like presents, CE, the presence of God, and then also the presents that you give because God is so good. So great. And so I'm just here in my living room with all of my pillows. I love the pillows, and I love a good bag, right? And Katie, she's so fantastic. She sent me all kinds of things. And so I got my Anchor bag here. I mean, look at this. It's just so cute. I love a bag, a good handbag. I mean, next we're going to need a leather one, but this is going to do fine. Okay. When I learned that this little symbol right here, bringing you the news, the Anchor news, but it's also like a woman. Look at that. Woman symbol and an anchor. I mean, it's the Anchor woman. They're just so clever. Okay, but let me just, oh gosh, the pillows, okay. I'm just gonna tell you about a couple things, okay, because I think you might need to do a little shopping for your friends. I love to shop. Do you love to shop? Okay, so first, we got an Anchor hat here. I mean, look at that. It doesn't really fit on my hair, but you might love it. You might have the greasy hair, you know, the 3-day-old hair, and you need to put the little ponytail in there. I mean, look at that little hole. It says the Anchor. So fantastic. I mean, seriously. And then we got a sweatshirt here. I mean, look at this. It's just so cute. It's like that mock like zip up situation. And Katie sent me a large one. I was glad because if she sent me her size, that would be like a U small. You know, I can floss with her. She's just a tiny little thing. Okay. And so, but this is good. The Anchor sweatshirt. It's so fantastic. I mean, you might want that. And no, that's not supposed to be in here. Sorry. Okay. I put everything in the bag. Don't you know? I mean, you need the lipstick, you need the things, you need the undergarments. I mean, you never know where you're going to go. You got to be ready. Okay. And so we got some socks. I don't think these are for sale, but they're very cute. Okay. They're so cute. Oh, look at this. We got a t-shirt. I mean, this is more summer wear. Right now it's snowing outside, but the Anchor t-shirt, you might want to run in it. You might want to just, cozy up in it. I like when the laundry comes right out of the dryer and then you kind of snuggle in it on your bed. You don't even fold it. It's just so cozy. And that's not what we're talking about. Okay, but that's fine. Candy. I love chocolate. This is not for sale, but it's really cute. And if you want to learn how to do a little bow like that, Katie sent this to me, you just bring all your presents to her house, okay? And she might wrap everything for you. I mean, I don't know, she's pretty whip-snappity like that. Okay, and then we got one more sweatshirt. Look at the pink. I mean, seriously. It's so fantastic. It probably looks fantastic on your skin tone, any skin tone. I mean, it's just a great pink sweatshirt. The Anchor. I mean, you walk around, you share the news about the Anchor. You don't even have to talk. Look, the sweatshirt does all the talking, okay? Right? Coffee talk all day long. Okay. Well, that being said, look, Paula's got a leggings on, my little pleather leggings. I mean, I got to get ready for the Christmas parties, you know. It might be good if you do a little shopping. I should do some shopping. Clearly, I only have one outfit. I'm not very versatile, but I might be investing in an Anchor sweatshirt. For now, though, I do have my Anchor bag. Get your Anchor bag where all Anchor bags are sold. I'm pretty sure it's theanchor.com, but I'm not really sure. You might need to like click on something that's going to be down here later. Okay, good job. All right, well, that being said, ladies, it is just so good to be with you. I love what y'all are doing. I love that you gather the ladies and you talk about God and you talk about all the important things of the heart. I mean, seriously, hot sparkles right here from Paula. We had so much fun together today. I have all these fantastic gifts for you to go shopping for, you know, all the lovely ladies in your life, and well, the men too. I mean, they might like a bag. Everybody likes a bag. But I just want to say Merry Christmas to you and yours. May peace and joy be with you always.
Thank you, Paula, for that great information and all those ideas for our Christmas shopping. We hope to see you all online at theanchorgathering.com. At this time, we like to start the Anchor with music. And tonight, I am very privileged to get to introduce to you, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, Brandon Heath. He is a top contemporary Christian singer, songwriter, and musician, and he is going to perform a special Christmas song just for the Anchor tonight. Brandon has won many awards, and he lives with his wife, Phoebe, and their two darling little girls in Nashville, Tennessee. So let's hear now from Brandon.
Hey everybody, at the Anchor, just want to say Merry Christmas. I'm Brandon Heath, and sing you a little song that I wrote this year for this time of year. It goes like this. That night when Jesus was born, back 2,000 years ago, guess in the grand scheme of time, it wasn't really that long ago. When Mary laid down, holding on to Joseph, wasn't his child, but he believed she was chosen. That night when Jesus was born, 2,000 years ago, when God made a way, God made a way in a manger. God made a way, God made a way in a manger. Wish I could follow the star to that little town of Bethlehem. Walked through the fields with those wise men, and shepherds watched over him. But what would I say? What would I bring? What else could I do but just worship my King? Wish I could follow the star to that little town of Bethlehem, where God made a way, God made a way in the manger. God made a way, God made a way in the manger. In His infinite love, it had to be done. He did the impossible and gave up His Son, Jesus. God made a way in the manger. For God so loved the world, and God still loves the world. Look at all His hands have made. It was God who made way. As I sit down in the quiet, in the dark of this living room, snow falling outside my window, I can't help but think of you. That God made a way, God made a way in a manger. There was no other way. God made a way in a manger. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Brandon, for that wonderful Christmas song. You've helped us all get into the Christmas spirit. So at this time, we have the Anchor Moment, and that's a time we get to hear from a guest a little bit about their life, a little bit about their faith journey, and about an anchor moment. Now, an anchor moment is a time in your life where your faith has been grounded, or you've seen Jesus to really be real, your anchor. So tonight, as I've already mentioned, we are so thankful we get to hear from Sue. And Sue, we are in her home here, and I just want to say thank you again so much for welcoming us into your beautifully decorated home. It's so wonderful. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. And I was born in Tacoma, lived there all my life, and graduated from Wilson High School. And I was raised in a pretty strict home, so I could not wait to get out of that home. So at 17, I graduated and moved out and started my fashion merchandising career and school, and was working and met my husband, my future husband, Ken, who I've now been married to for 46 years. And I cannot believe how fast time goes by. We have 4 grown children, 9 grandkids now, and 1 more on the way. So I'm really excited about that. My passions are, well, the way I relax is read a good mystery book. I love a good mystery book. Or I love running, hiking, just visiting with friends, and just relationships. Relationships are really important to me. And then I've always loved children, loved to babysit as a kid, and then once we started going to church, I was, involved in kids ministry always. And then over 20 years ago, I started volunteering as a volunteer guardian ad litem. So it's called the CASA. And so I get to be the voice for kiddos in foster care. So that's a real privilege to be able to do that, and really feeds my soul. And then my day life is working at the Best Western Wesleyan that my husband and I own in Gig Harbor. So that's a little bit about me.
That is a lot of great things to hear about you. Thank you so much. How about tell us a little bit about your faith journey?
As a kid, we always went to church on Sunday morning, and that was about it. But we had Bibles and went to church and said grace, and knew that was the right thing to do, right? And then again, when I got out on my own and had my fun times, didn't seem quite as important to me. I think I would still go to church every now and then, but then as I met my husband, he went to a Pentecostal church, and I go, well, we go there. So we'd go there, and I go, oh, it's not just going to church to feel good, it's really about a relationship with Jesus. And so that's where I first heard that and first accepted the Lord during that time. And then as we just, as our marriage continued, we just grew, I think, together in our faith, really, and that was really important for us to raise our kids in, to have a faith in Jesus. So, yeah, he's been there for us always, through thick and thin, for sure.
Great. Well, that takes us into, we'd love to hear you share about an anchor moment. I know you probably have many, but we'd love to hear what comes to mind.
Absolutely. And in thinking about this and what I should share, there's, yes, as you said, many things when you've been married that long and lived this long. There's ups and downs for sure in life. And our youngest son we adopted at the age of 3, and that was a challenge. He's now 36, and that was one of our really, really hard years of doing that and raising him. But another anchor moment for me, my husband came home after, it was probably, 28 years ago, and said, Sue, there's no hotels in Gig Harbor. I think we need to build one. Now, he had a construction company. He had been a home builder, residential houses. Life was pretty good. We had ups and downs. There's, construction and, as you know, the economy. So there was always that part. But, we had a pretty good life. The kids were getting older, teenagers, and busy and activities. And I'm thinking, a hotel. Okay, what do we need? What do we know about building a hotel? And how are we going to get financing to get a hotel? As he pursued that dream of his, that became my dream too, I guess, as they do, when your husband has a dream, we often have to hop on board. So the financing, we ended up selling quite a few things that we had, a cabin, a boat. We would have sold our kids probably at one point, just to go, okay, we've got to get this down payment to be able to do that. And that was a 2-year process. And so we go, okay, we've got the doors open to the hotel. We can, and we had a management company managing it. And after 6 months, we decided this isn't working. And so, Sue, you're going to need to operate, be the operator of this hotel. And then, okay, well, so that's when God really, I clung to this verse, and I'm going to read it here. It's Isaiah 42:16. I will bring the blind by a way they did not know. I will lead them in paths they did not know. I will make darkness light before them and crooked places straight. These things I will do for them and not forsake them. Well, I clung onto that. I took that as a personal promise from Jesus, and I have it highlighted, and I would read that every day. Okay, God, you promised you'd tell me what to do, how to do it, how to manage a hotel, how to hire employees, how to meet the payroll, how to do the day-to-day operations. And as he did. He has been very faithful to do that for us, and I feel like we have a business that the community knows is there for them. We're able to serve people not just if they're getting married, not just the good times, but there's so many times, Katie, when we've been able to meet needs of grieving families, or families had a fire or a damage to their home. They'll stay with us for months. We just get to love on them and really give them the spirit of hospitality that comes from Jesus. And even sometimes I get to pray with people if they're open to that as they're going through hard times. So it's been a wonderful opportunity for us. It's been a blessing for our family. Three of our kids are now working in the business, and I just am so grateful to Jesus for being faithful, being that anchor during that whole experience of we're going to do what, and how are we going to do that, and how are we going to do that? Yes, things as the challenges came up. So really, he's just our anchor in every way, every day.
Wow, that is so cool. I actually kind of wanted to hear a little more. You told me a little bit about how you got the name.
Oh, yes.
For your for the hotel and for some of the special rooms. I thought that was so cool.
I will share that. So my husband's father, Ken, his name is John Wesley, and so we wanted to honor his dad, so we named it the Wesley Inn after him. And then our ballroom is named after our oldest daughter, Brooke, so it's the Brookside Room. And then our oldest son, Blue, has the name of the Blue Bay Room because it's by the pool. And then our youngest daughter, Candace, is Candace Evelyn, so it's the CE Room. So we have a large ballroom and 2 meeting rooms. And our youngest son, Mikey, we could not think of, we don't have anything yet for him, but if we add on, it'll be his space.
Well, speaking of events, we are looking so forward to our next Anchor Day Getaway retreat. And we had the last one at your beautiful Wesley Inn. And now I'm going to say, everybody mark your calendars, because we've got the date for next summer, August 22nd, 2023. We've got it booked to have it there at your beautiful, beautiful hotel.
We're excited to have you back. It was a great time last year, so we're very excited to have you back.
So we hope you mark your calendars, and we hope to see you all in Gig Harbor, Washington next summer, August 22nd. Well, thank you for sharing that inspiring message. It's such a reminder to all of us about really trusting the Lord with His big plan. It's not always our plans, as we know through life. And just, I love, those are encouraging words to really hold on to Him as our anchor, that He'll give us just what we need for what He's put in the plan. So thank you again for sharing that with us today.
Again, my pleasure.
Well, at this time we have our drawing, and we have some fun items to give away tonight. We have our classic white glassy baby etched with our anchor logo, and it is named Hope, perfect for the Christmas season. And we also have a beautiful book written by our main speaker, Ruth McKeaney, and it is called Hungry for Home. It is just beautifully written, and the message of making your house a home, you will just love looking through these pages. And our other item is a night in Gig Harbor, Washington at the Wesley Inn, just what we've heard from Sue. It's a beautiful, beautiful hotel. There's a few ways to get your name in for this. You can go to your QR code, ask your watch party host. You can go to the description box in our YouTube channel, and you can also go to our website, theanchorgathering.com. We will announce the winners first thing tomorrow, and you've got until 9 o'clock tonight. So we hope you get your names in there, and good luck to all. We get to hear from our main speaker at this time, and I'm very honored to introduce to you Ruth McKeaney. Ruth is a former Assistant Attorney General from the state of Virginia. She is a speaker and an author, and I mentioned her book before. It's beautiful, Hungry for Home. and she and her husband live just outside of Philadelphia with their 5 children, and they live in a beautifully restored historic farm that is from 1717. And we are so excited we get to take you there now to hear from Ruth McKeaney.
Thank you so much, everyone, for letting me come back to the Anchor, which I think is such an incredible mission. So I'm excited to talk about today what I'm going to talk about. And that's because this time of year makes me so happy because it kind of brings everything together that I love. First of all, Jesus, okay? Family, blessing other people, gift giving, family traditions, all of this comes together during the holidays. But I say that to also say at the same time, I know that this time of year can be incredibly difficult for people. You know, me included, right before Thanksgiving, I was sitting in my kitchen crying. And my kids were getting ready. I have 5, and 2 were getting ready to come home from college. And it was that sense of everyone's got expectations. Am I going to meet everyone's expectations? How am I going to make it special? How am I going to make it memory making? How am I going to keep the focus on Thanksgiving and Jesus and not ourselves? And all of this was swirling in my head. And I really had to sit and take stock and think, how do we create expectations? So here's what I'm going to talk about before I even get to that. There are 3 things. How do you create expectation for Christmas, both spiritually and practically? Okay, that's number 1. How do family traditions tie into that? Okay, and then how do you intentionally plan on blessing someone outside of your immediate space during the holidays? And I think all 3 of those work together to make Christmas what it's meant to be. So, and I have to go ahead and preface this with one of the things I used to struggle with, because my parents, there were some really hard years as a family where we didn't have the means to really give gifts, or even there were a couple years where Dad said, there's no Christmas tree this year. And a stranger came and put a tree on our porch. Or there were really formative times for me of understanding what it was to be blessed by someone, and now to be in a position to bless others. And I need to be careful because I was in a position to bless others even then, and I just couldn't see it because we were hurting. So I want to encourage everyone watching this that prepare for the season. And if you prepare for the season, I don't think you'll be disappointed. So how do you prepare for Christmas? Spiritually, and build anticipation. Now, I'm going to show you something that my cousins gave us for Christmas one year. Their family tradition is I think it's the day after Thanksgiving, their whole family sits down and they make an Advent tree box for one family. That's all they have time to do, because they have to hand make all the ornaments. And with those ornaments, I'm going to show you, like here's one. It's on a specific day in the calendar, but these are ornaments that go on a tiny tree that they give you. I'll show you another ornament. They're all wrapped individually according to the day of the month. Here's baby Jesus, but they're clay, and they literally hand make them and paint them as a family and then give them out. And then the book, the Advent Jesse Tree, takes each day in December for both children and adults and talks about, why do we celebrate Christmas? Creation. It starts with creation, and then it goes from there into the first sin, and it goes on and on and on until the birth of Jesus. So part of my family is the reading of this every day of the month of December, and really remembering and understanding the fullness of why we celebrate Christmas. I think that is so important. It's the whole reason behind everything. If it's just for the sake of celebrating Christmas, there's really no point to it. So remember, especially, I'm going to give you another example. I struggled for several years with the fact that my kids would make lists for days, weeks before Christmas, maybe months before Christmas. I want this, I want this, I want this. And I literally reached this point where I was like, okay, I'm kind of disgusted. I'm not giving gifts out. You're going to give things away. You're going to give things away for Christmas so you understand what it means to give. And I was really frustrated. And I was talking with my best friend's father, who happens to be our pastor. And he said to me, Ruth, what did God give you for Christmas? And I said, well, Jesus was born. And he said, I want you to think about that. Who is Jesus? Well, God's son. So did he think, oh, Ruth, she doesn't deserve it. Ruth, all she does is want things. Ruth, she hasn't had a very good year. No. He gave his most precious thing that he loved in the world, his son, to you. Even when you didn't really deserve it. And so it's changed my whole posture on Christmas. I literally think, how can I lavishly give to people? I mean, lavishly, beyond what they deserve. And that doesn't necessarily mean finances. And I need to be very clear about that, because there have been times when we didn't have the finances. But you know what I had? I had the resource of time. I had the resource of words. I had the resource of writing a letter to somebody. So don't get caught in the mindset of, well, this year is a tight financial year. Use what God has given you, which is more than money. It's your time. It's your thought as a family. So anyway, I'm going to wrap that up in number 3, but it did just make me think differently about Christmas. So how do you create anticipation? I just went over how we do the Advent together. The next thing that I do has to do with family traditions. And I wanted to share some traditions because if you've read my book, Hungry for Home, you know that family culture is very, very important to me, and how to be intentional about creating that culture. And so for us, that is in large part been about family traditions. And we have a lot that surround Christmas. So I wanted to share some of those with you. Practically speaking, one way that I create anticipation is once December 1st hits, we have 2 doors into our dining room. And I wrap those doors like a gift, top to bottom, bow and everything. And from that day on, not one person is allowed in our dining room, because that's where we're wrapping everything. And you can see the excitement build with our kids. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on behind that door? What gifts don't we know about? And it's just a really fun way, small thing to do to begin to build anticipation. Another family tradition that we have is my husband and I make almond roca, which is an English toffee. Every year we've done it we just celebrated our 24th anniversary, so we started the year before, so 25 years. And he and I spend a few hours in the kitchen making my great aunt's recipe of almond roca. And we give it away. We give it away to as many people as we can. We make about 12 huge cookie sheets of it, and then you break it up, and I find fun ways of packaging it that year. So anyway, that's an inexpensive way of blessing people. Another thing that we do is on Christmas Eve, and this is a really big one. On Christmas Eve, we deliver, my family, my kids and I, and Bob, 450 sweet rolls. And we make those in advance, and what happens is it was my great aunt's recipe, and we deliver them frozen to everyone. We freeze them a few weeks before. We used to make them on Christmas Eve, but then my Christmas Eve just got crazy. And I wanted to settle things down a little bit. So we make them a few weeks before and freeze them. We deliver the packages with directions on them how to bake them, because they have to let the sweet rolls rise overnight on Christmas Eve, and then they can bake them and pour in the heavy whipping cream on Christmas morning. So our family, when everyone else is last minute shopping.
Excuse me. Yes? I'm trying to find a Jello Man doll. Me too. Do you have any more in the back? What? I see that. It's terrible, man.
And having Christmas Eve dinner, our family is driving around for about 4 hours delivering sweet rolls to different families. And it's just fun as a family to come up with who needs to be blessed this year with this. So that's one of our traditions. Another tradition is we come home from that, and all of us put sleeping bags on our living room floor and make a night of it. So we all spend the night in the living room. We watch the movie White Christmas.
dreaming of a white Christmas.
We light the fire, and all 7 of us, now 8 since I have a son-in-law, sleep in the living room on the floor, on couches, on chairs. But that way, when we wake up the next morning, we're all together. And it began when they were little, and it's carried on, and it's probably one of my kids' very favorite things to do. So, but again, it's that building of and thinking through ideas. Even if you're a grandparent right now, I've had a number of grandparents say to me, how do I make a tradition? Guess what? You've got grandchildren. You still have children. There are things you can do to just help them build anticipation, not only for Jesus and what he did for us, but for the celebration of his birth. So that's another thing. Then we wake up the morning on Christmas morning and we read the Christmas story before we open a single gift, and really actually sit and talk about what that meant to us, what that's meant, how we've seen the gift of Jesus in our life throughout that year. So it's just a really wonderful way to start out that Christmas morning before you tear open the presents, to really, talk about what God gave us. I'm going to bring it back to Jesus every time, because that's really what the whole season is about. Now, the third thing I want you to think about, how do you bless somebody during this holiday? I think it's very easy as a mom, or even your kids and your husband who's working so hard, or if you don't have a husband, to get wrapped up in the hustle and bustle of all of it, of everyone's expectations, of parties, of loneliness, there's just a lot at Christmas time. And what does it all come down to, really? Blessing people. Love your neighbor as yourself. How does that look? So, what I want to challenge you about is, think this Christmas, is there someone at church? Is there a widow? Is there a widower? Is there a mom who is divorced and raising children? Is there somebody who's lost somebody this year? Is there somebody who's lost a job? Is there somebody who's just struggling emotionally? I have a daughter who struggled this year with some depression. Is there somebody in your church, in your Bible study, in your neighborhood, at the gym you go to, at the grocery store that you see? Is there somebody that you can be a blessing to? And here's what I would challenge. I would challenge that you even get on your knees tonight, or even after this, and say, Lord, will you point that person out to me? Would you point those people out to you? Because guess what? He will. And then you're responsible. We've invited a few widows over for Christmas Day. My mom died young, so my dad has never remarried. And I know what it means when people reach outside of themselves and love him well. My cousin lost her husband last week. There are so many people who are hurting. And we have not only the means, but the ability and the command to love them well. So what does that look like? Okay. Obviously you've got all these things where it's like, take gifts to the homeless, serve the homeless during this holiday. And those are things that I encourage and I think are amazing. But there are even things that you can practically do if you don't have the means or the ability to do any of those things. Find somebody. Go take them a meal. Invite them into your house for a meal. I think that's why I wrote Hungry for Home. How can you be a blessing in and through your home? It can be so simple. It can be make a wreath for somebody and walk it to their house. It can be take your children over with a plate of cookies and say, we just wanted to say Merry Christmas. Think of somebody that you can bless. Frankly, it can even be within your own house. I've been thinking even with one of my daughters right now who's struggling with some things. How can I love her well during this holiday? She doesn't like gifts. Just be creative, and all that takes is to sit down and think about it. That's what I think I get caught up in not doing. I get right into the holidays. I go Thanksgiving, bam, bam, kids home from college. What do I need for this? What does this school need? I get caught into everything instead of being quiet and saying, Jesus, would you please show me who needs me? Who needs you? Who can I show your love to? that's my encouragement for you. Create memories, make new traditions, figure out people that you can love and bless. Spend some time with Jesus, knowing He is the reason we celebrate Christmas. He is the reason I have salvation. And I think it's just important, once you put things in perspective, write things down, you're going to be ready for the holidays. And I feel much more prepared for the holidays than I did before Thanksgiving, because I've done those things. And take the time to do an Advent. I don't care what Advent you find. You know, I have the Jesse tree Advent, and it's fun to do with my children. Do it with your spouse. Do it with a friend. But put yourself in the proper mindset of celebrating His birth, His ultimate death, His resurrection, His gift, and what we can give others that will bless them this year. So I wish you a Merry Christmas. I just encourage you in every way I can. Bless. Blessings to you all, and Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Ruth, for that inspiring message. Now we have time for discussion, and Ruth has provided a few questions. You're going to see those on your screen. They're questions to go a little bit deeper with the message and reflect. You can do that with your watch party or on your own. We just hope and pray that's an encouraging time. So in conclusion, we just want to say thank you again for tuning in tonight. We would love your help in sharing and getting the word out there for the Anchor at Home if you could. Follow us and like us, share us on our social media. That would be so helpful. And I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. And like I like to end every time, until we see you next time, stay anchored, and we will see you soon.